What's good? What's good? Welcome to the refill. Welcome to the refill. I'm your host, Ron Daniel. Man, we got a good show for y'all tonight, man. We're trying to figure out some things. We had a guest tonight, but we ran into some audio technical difficulties. But we're gonna keep the show going on, man. We're gonna keep the show rolling. We're just trying to figure out some things right now. But man, what's good, man? What's good? We glad y'all tuned in to the refill. Again, I'm your host, Ron Daniel. We're gonna we're gonna talk about some things tonight. We're gonna get into this show. We had a great guest tonight, but we ran into some technical issues, and so we just had to reschedule for another time. So, you know, I'm here. I'm entertaining y'all for a little bit, but tonight what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about tonight's topic. We're gonna talk about building your mindset, and so. Even though this is a music podcast, but the tips that I have that I'm gonna share with you all tonight can be used in any business, any organization, any ministry. You just have to know how to build a winning mindset, and a winning mindset is not, dependent upon how you look, how you sound, what color you are, if you're tall, small, wide, skinny, if you can speak good, if you can't speak good. It's not that. It's just building your mindset. I tell people all the time, we have this extra muscle, our brain, and a lot of times we don't take time out to build the brain muscle at all. We just kind of go into we live life, and we just kind of go into life, and we just kind of float around a little bit without building that brain muscle. And so tonight, what I'm gonna do tonight, even though if you tuned in, if you've been rocking with us the last 20 shows, you already know what this is. This is a gospel rap CHH podcast where we highlight all the artists, the promoters, the DJs, the influencers that make gospel rap go shake and roll worldwide. And so it's a global movement going on. And so we're part of the movement, and we're doing our part to help build it and continue to grow the culture and grow the genre. So tonight, we're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about, y'all hold on for a minute. Let me get my earphones right. I got it here. We're going to talk about mindset tonight. Okay, I think that's it. And so, talking about mindset, hold on, y'all. Okay, for some reason I can't hear something. I don't know what's going on with these headphones. But to create a winning mindset. Sorry about that, y'all. We ran into some technical issues. I'm just gonna go with it. So we're talking about building a winning mindset and what it takes to build a winning mindset. In this case, even though we're talking about music things, you can take and you can use these tips in anything. When I was on my way to the office today, I got a good report from my teenage daughter. She's 14, and she was so happy about something when she came to my office. She was like, Dad, I'm happy. I got to show you something. I said, okay, show it to me. And so she pulled out a certificate saying she made the honor roll. And we were just laughing and high-five, and I was like, good. As a parent, you want to see that. As a parent, you want to see your kids doing good. And as a parent, you want to see your kids that they listening to you. That's the main thing. You like, yes, Lord, they listening to mama. They listening to daddy. Because we get on them about doing homework. We get on them about, having a winning mindset, having positive influences around you every single day. We talk to our kids about making sure that you pick the right friends. You pick the right friends that's going to give you a positive influence in life. So when she showed me the honor roll, we high-fived, we talked about it, we laughed about it. Look, I put it in a frame. I said, nah, we got to put this in a frame. And so I found a frame just laying around the office. We stuck it in a frame. We high-fived some more. But what I love about it was the look on her face. And I told her, I said, look, when you in class, when you in school, you going to have some students in there. They're going to get mad because you make the honor roll. And you're going to inspire other students that say, hey, if you made the honor roll, I can make the honor roll next time. So I told her, when you get awards and success, you have to view it both ways. You're going to have your haters. We're going to talk about that tonight. And you're going to have people that's inspired by what you're doing. And we're going to talk about that tonight. So tonight, this is a good topic. I don't even know how long. Normally I show us an hour, but I'm going to go until I just shut up. But we're talking about the independent grind and what it really means to be on an independent grind, independent movement. And what I mean by that is, in the music business, I'm going to give you the gist of the music business if you just don't know. If you tuned in, you just don't know about the music business, I'll give you just a little bit about it. So you have artists, you got record labels, and you have a few record labels, and you got thousands of artists. Well, these artists want to be signed by the record labels. That's the gist of the music business. And the record companies, they take these artists, they put a lot of money behind the artists, and they pretty much, they don't, I hate to say own the artist, but it's kind of like the contract. When they sign the contract, they kind of owned by the label. So the label tell them what to do. The label say, hey, we spend thousands or millions of dollars on your project. We need our money back. So we need for you to go do this show. We need for you to go to this event over here, go to this event. We need for you to go do this commercial, whatever we tell you to do so we can get our investment back. So what happens to the artists when they don't get signed? Now we're going to talk about the independent grind. So years ago, when I started in gospel rap, I started in the gospel rap space. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing about, I knew about the music business, but I didn't know about the gospel rap space. And so it's a different ball game. You talking when you going around saying, hey, you work as you operate as a gospel rapper. People look at you crazy. We're catching on both sides. The church world, they say, a gospel rapper, you rapping about Jesus. You get that side. And then on the other side, which, I tell people all the time, that the streets show more love than the church do, but that's another topic. I don't want to get into that. I want to talk about the independent grind. And I'm saying all this to lead up to the independent grind. So you're doing your thing. You in the music space now. Ain't nobody signing you, so what do? Right? So now you have to start doing your own thing. And so what I mean is, you have to figure out how to make the music business or your organization or your church ministry work without a lot of resources initially. So in the beginning, when I started working in the gospel rap space as an artist, I started as an artist first before I started branching out to other things, and now we in the media space. And so where I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. I love the city, love the rock town. I tell people all the time, I treat Little Rock like it's the Bat Cave. And what I mean is, like, I've traveled all around the country, but this is where I lay my head. When you see Batman do all these things in the world, but the Bat Cave is where he lay his head and go to sleep. I treat the city like that. And so, you independent, you starting off, you trying to figure out what to do, how to move around, how to create music, how to create merchandise, sell it, get the money, put it up, what to do next. You trying to figure all this stuff out. So in the beginning, as the artist, you just happy to be rapping. You just happy to be in shows, to be honest with you. So you drive 2 hours away, you drive 3 hours away. These people saying, hey, can you come for free? Can you come do this show, come through that show? And as the artist, you just going where it's at. You just trying to get it now. You just going where you can do an event. So now you moving around in the space. You got your T-shirts. You got your booth for your event, your product booth, your merch booth. where you got all your T-shirts, you got everything on the table you need to sell to make money. You know, in the beginning, I would always tell artists, I ran into a lot of artists that were saying, you know, I do all this for free. I said, that's cool, but we got to make money. And when you making no money, you know, that's when folks get discouraged and quit, you know. And I've seen it too many times. I've seen cats come in hot and they leave out cold. And you don't see them no more. You're trying to figure out, you know, well, what happened to dude? What happened to bro? You know, what he was good. He can, his song, his music, his album was hot at that time. And now they not doing it. And a part of the reason that is no money. But I'm gonna get into that. I'm saying all this to lead up to the independent grind. So now you the artist, you're not bagged by no label. You gotta put your own resources together. You gotta put a team together. You gotta get money from somewhere. So now you're trying to figure everything out. So the independent grind, when I started, like 15 years ago, 17 years ago, I figured out a long time ago, with the help of praying and God and just some direction, that I had to sign myself a deal. I had to sign myself to a deal. And so what I mean is I signed myself and I moved around. And so when I understood, at that time I was like, I think I'm going to be an independent artist, like forever. And if I sign a deal with somebody, it have to be to where I can retain and still keep all my rights and masters and all my creative work. And if, you know, they not down with that, I'm not signing with nobody, period. So when you're doing the independent grind, as the artist, you're making the music. For me, I'm going to tell you my story. For me, I didn't want to go to the studios in my city because studio has a culture, right? Studios have a culture. And I know a lot of cool dudes got studios. They do good, you know, in the city. But I was like, I know that there's also a culture. And I didn't want to go in. I didn't want to go into those studios knowing if I'm trying to, you know, live a certain way, do a certain thing, I walk in there on a session, might walk in on a smoke session. So I'm not going to nobody's studio getting a contact high. And so the professional studios really weren't fooling with the rappers, but the boys who had them studios was fooling with the rappers, just had a different culture. So I was like, Lord, I need my own studio. So that's when I started to understand how studios work. So I had to buy my own equipment. I had to take the money I had at the time and buy my own recording equipment, buy my own computers, buy my own microphone. It wasn't the best microphone. It was like a $50 microphone. And I remember I stayed in a 2-bedroom apartment. And I took, one room I slept in, the other room was just for the studio. And so I remember going in that closet and gutting the whole closet out. And we hung a microphone in there. And I went to, me and my bro, Big J-Mo, shout out to J-Mo. I remember going to Sears. Sears ain't even around no more. I remember going to Sears and they had some bed foam for sale on clearance. And I said, I need that bed foam. So we took the bed foam, took it back to the apartment I was staying in. I was single at the time. Took it back to the apartment. I took a staple gun and I stapled that bed foam all around the closet. Hung the microphone down, $50 microphone. And then I was like, wait a minute, I can't see my equipment. I can't see my recording stuff to see if I'm on cue when I'm rapping. So I went to one of the local high schools. First I went to one of the local hardware stores and I bought a $25 piece of glass, a square piece of glass, about that big. It wasn't big at all. I just need something to see. And I took the whole door off the hinge, took it down to the high school, and he said, listen, I'll charge you $25. I said, cool. He put the glass in the door for me. I put the door back up. I said, okay, we got a studio booth now. So now I bought this. I had a keyboard. I don't know how to play the equipment. At the time, my brother was making all my beats for me. But I made the space for him to come in to make the beats, and I'm doing all the rapping. And I used that room for business also. So I used the computer for studio work and business. So we would get in there, rap, do the thing. Sometimes where I stayed at the time, it was hood. So some cars come through there. They may park in front of the apartment bumping loud. So you got to wait for them to move. So you stop. You go get on the PlayStation real quick. Play maybe a game of Madden or two. If they stayed out there, I'm not finna go out there and mess with them boys. But when they left, we got back to work. So that's my beginning. I had to learn from the beginning that I had to buy my own equipment. I had to set it up. I had to learn. I had to figure out how computers work. I had to learn how to mix and master everything. I had to learn how a microphone worked. And a lot of people think, oh, just plug in the microphone and it work. I say it's not that simple. It sounds simple, but it's not simple like this microphone I'm on now. This is a universal microphone for a lot of the radio shows you see on TV and on YouTube. And when I saw this microphone, I was like, I need to get that. And I saw the cost, and I said, I'm willing to invest that cost. Now, it's like half off now. But when I bought it, it was like double the price. So I went ahead and bought it. But I bought this recently. I didn't have this in the beginning. I had a $50 microphone. So at that time, I was preparing my mindset for the independent grind. So the next step I had to do, I said, okay, I need to be seen. I'm getting heard, but I need to be seen. So how God worked things out is he said, okay, I see you moving, so I'm going to help you. I remember going to my mama's house. My mama at the time wasn't really savvy on computers. So I went there. Now at the same time, I was a barber, brand new barber in a barber shop too. Just got my license, just started cutting hair. And I need some business cards. So I need some business cards for the barber shop, and I need some business cards for my music. So I went over her house, and I was just sitting over there. She had she just had the family over there eating and laughing and talking, but I went to the computer. And I remember she had this software on there that made business cards. It was business card making software. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was called Printmaker or something like that. It was a long time ago. So I got on there, I made some business cards, and I saved it to the jump drive, and I took it to a print store, made me some business cards. So now I'm learning marketing. I'm still talking about the independent grind. I'm just taking y'all back, and I'm going to speed y'all up in a minute. So now I'm making my music, I'm mixing it, I'm mastering it, I'm putting it together. I'm making my marketing material, my advertising material, business cards. So from the business cards, I started learning how to make flyers. They weren't the best flyers in the beginning at all. Matter of fact, we laugh about it now. We laugh about the early things we had to learn, like making flyers, making business cards, learning how studios work. And now the Lord blessed me with 2 full production professional studios that I actually make money with, working for companies. And that's just, we're going to talk about that too. But in the very beginning, I learned a long time ago that I had to figure this out. I'm not going to get signed by nobody because I'm a gospel rapper. So I had to figure out how to create a studio, how to create my own marketing and advertising, and make it work. So at that time, it was the best what we had. And at that time, we had CDs. Now everybody downloading everything. But and CDs still around. I know some people still buy CDs. It's a shocker, but they do. They still buy CDs. But at that time, CDs was everything. CDs, DVDs, that was everything. That was the play. And so from there, we started learning how to network. I'm speeding y'all up to building your mindset. We started to network with people. We started networking with the radio DJs. We started networking with in this case, I'm gospel rapping, so I'm networking with church pastors and youth ministers. just passing out cards at their churches. I was making the cards and then hitting their parking lots. And they like, who is this Ron Daniel dude? Who is this dude? Who is rapping? Oh, we got a youth night, come on. And we would go rapping the youth night, right? So from there, we got the studio. We learned the advertising and marketing, networking. So now, we in it. And we're doing everything to repeat. Get in the studio, make the content, make your marketing and your advertising, network. Content, marketing and advertising, network. And you moving around. So now you starting from just a section in the city to the whole city. Now you moving around the state. Now I'm in the South. I'm in the Rock Town. We broadcast live from the Dirty South. I love the South. So we started moving around in the South. Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida. We just moving around all these different places, right? So the thing is, we're moving around all these places. We're moving around. And now we in Florida. We in Atlanta. We in Georgia. We down there in Missouri. We in Oklahoma. Moving around. And now you networking. Now you meeting people in Boston. You meet people in Chicago. You meet people in Las Vegas. So now we're in Las Vegas. You meet people in L.A. Now you in L.A. You meet people in Joker, New Mexico. Joker, now we in New Mexico. So you moving around. But what we did and what we learned here at Divine Self Entertainment was how to build the independent brand. I had to sign myself a deal. I've signed artists and paid artists doing gospel rap. And if any artists I signed watching the show say I didn't pay, they know how to see me. They know where I'm at. I'm going to say, hey, you lying because you know you get paid. Ain't on time. So we learned from the beginning how to set up the independent brand. Now, I took some notes. Things you have to do to build the independent brand. And I'm going to add social media now. That's the new element to the independent brand. Networking. Now, this is in no order. If you want to take notes, take notes. But all this is in no order. What I'm giving you tonight is 17 years of game. G-A-M-E. Business game. How to build a winning mindset. How to build a winning mindset. How to work on your independent grind. When you got to do it alone. When you don't have a team. When team members come and team members go. I've had people come in, look around. They say, this too hard, and they bounce. What you gonna do? You got to keep moving. You got to keep moving. Listen, this gonna sound crazy. It's gonna sound real goofy. But I treat my business movements like the city bus. I'm going to explain. Wherever you are watching this, every city has a bus system, a public bus system. That bus system has a route, right? It got a route that goes on every day, and it has so many stops. That bus driver know he going to pull up or she going to pull up to that stop, and they going to open that door. They're going to say, whoever at the stop, come on, get on. But if you're not at the stop, they keep going. And that's how I had to learn to be. If you with me, ride with me. If you ain't, you can go. Because I'm going to keep going. Just like that bus. The bus got that route to go on. I'm going to keep on moving. I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on grinding. I'm going to keep on expanding. If you're with me, if you ain't. You got to have that mindset. And I had to build that mindset into a business mindset. But I'm going to get into that. We're going to talk about the independent grind. Networking. This is so key for your longevity. People say, man, how you know so many people in gospel rap? I say, I network with them. The folks y'all see on TV, YouTube, got all the streams. I done did something with them in some capacity. A show, We done been on a panel together. All that stuff. I'm not a name dropper, but I got all the receipts. See what I'm saying? But I don't go around telling folks, yeah, I know this person, I know that person. Put me in your event, put me in your show, let me sit on your panel. We got it in the resume, but that's just business. That's for business purposes. But you have to network. How do you network? Well, the one thing you don't want to do, your word is everything. So if you say you're going to do something, do it. If you say you're going to show up at a show, show up. Show up on time. And listen, stay after the show. That's where the magic happens. It's not when you get there and do the show. It's after the show. How we're able to stay in this 17 plus years was everything that happened after the show. After the show, you probably like, what you talking about? I'm saying when you get up there, they pay you to come. You get up there, you rapping, you doing your thing. And then after the show, you meet with the promoter. People coming left and right. They want your information. And people sitting in the audience, they want to take pictures. They want to sign some autographs. They want to buy some merchandise. They want to take cards. And they say, hey, can we get you to our city? We got an event coming up in a month. Can we get you to our city? That's where the magic happened. Networking. Networking is not sitting in a room, passing out cards, and eating and drinking, whatever. That's not networking. You just at a social function. I've been to social functions. I know how they work. I know how the room work. I've been to a lot of them. That's not networking. Networking is not sitting there and say, hey, here come a card, just call me. That's a little bit of it, but that's not the key. In the music space, the networking happens after the shows. I'm going to take it a step farther. Now, I'm going to speak on the gospel rap space, but this applies to anything. A lot of times, after the shows, we would all go out. So many artists would go to like an IHOP and eat. And now we're talking about sports or family things or, hey, what you got coming up? Hey, what you got coming up? Hey, I got this event. I got this event. That's more in-depth networking. So now you're building a rapport with each other. You're building a good, solid rapport. So if something going on in Memphis, I get a phone call. Hey, come on through. If I got something going on down here in my city, I call around because I know who's going to come because I built rapport with them. That's networking. You have to learn how to network. That's part of the independent grind. It's about who you know. Not how many people you know. It's who you know. It's who you know. So when people say, hey, how Ron Daniel? No, he in Little Rock, but how he know that dude out there in California? How he know that executive person in Chicago? Because I've met him along my path. Everybody got a path and a journey. And I've met people, and to this day, I keep business cards and I keep phone numbers. So if I need something, I can text or call, or if I got their business card, I can send an email. Or I send email from my phone or iPad or something, or my laptop. Keep information. And listen, don't despise small beginnings like the Bible says. The Bible says don't despise small beginnings. You don't know who paths you crossing with. And a lot of times we think, well, that's just a nobody. They giving me their card. They want me to get on their little bitty show. Or they want me to come to their little show. And then that person you looking down on get big, big, big and grow. And now you want to be a part of what they doing. Don't do that. Just be a part of their efforts now. If it makes sense. If it makes sense. If it don't make sense, don't do it. But networking, we're talking about networking. That's part of how you network. You got to meet people. You got to be cordial with people. You got to follow up. If somebody, now we have social media. And I'm going to tell you something that bothers me. When I inbox people and I seen they saw the message and they don't respond, That tell me everything I know. That tell me everything I know about you. What I need to know about you. Because I answer all my inbox messages. I answer all my DM messages. If it's business related, now if it's some foolishness, I don't fool with it. But if it's business related, I answer everything, all my messages. Why? Because I'm building a networking rapport with them and me. I'm trying to figure out who is this, how they get down. What can I do? What can I bring to the table? What can they bring to the table if we need to collab on something? See, I'm big on collabing on things. That's how you move around. So if I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, I know a few people out there. I call up, hey, I'm in your city. What's happening? If I'm in Atlanta, I know a ton of people in Atlanta. Hey, I'm in Atlanta. What's happening? Hey, if I'm in Houston, hey, what's happening? If I'm in backyard Mississippi, hey, I'm in Mississippi. What's happening? I'm in your city. What's good? That's networking. That's networking. If they come in my city, everybody know. If they come to the Rocktown, if I find out you here, I'm like, hey man, swing through. I know you busy. Come by the office real quick. I'm up here right now. Just swing through for about an hour. And then, man, you can ease on. I do that to build rapport. That's networking. That's how you keep opportunities alive in the future. So when people say, man, Ron Daniel put out some music. He doing this tour in this city, that city, that city, that city, and this city, that city. Now the boy overseas. Now the boy over in Africa. Because I know folks over there. You got to talk to people. And with social media, it makes it so easy. You just got to open your mouth. Listen to me. Somebody told me something a long time ago. They said closed mouths don't get fed. And I was young. I didn't know what they was talking about. They said, hey, young blood, closed mouths don't get fed. I said, okay. What that mean? I don't know what you're talking about. Now it's getting older and I'm grown. I know what it means. Open your mouth and talk to people. And don't be scared. Open your mouth and talk to people. Have a conversation. Build rapport. I ain't saying y'all gonna initially jump it off in the beginning and hey, y'all come on, we gonna network and go to this event. No, just build rapport. That's networking. Here's another thing. You got to learn how to move along sometimes. You got to learn how to move along sometimes. And I'm going to tell you why. In the very beginning, when I started rapping and going to shows and touring a little bit, it was just me and my wife, for real, in the car. It was just us. And listen, this when we was eating bad, we would stop by the drive-thru. If we in Texas, we go by Whataburger. We get that Whataburger, and we go hit that show. And we drive in the street 4 o'clock in the morning. We drive in the middle of the night laughing and talking. She fall asleep. Then she wake up laughing about something. Talking about something until we make it home. You got to go by yourself. Part of the independent grind, you got to learn how to move around by yourself until you get a supportive team. And I'm not talking about your partners. I'm not talking about your family members that's hanging around you because it look like you're doing something good. I'm talking about people that's actually around you doing work. Let me tell you who I am. Don't hang around me if you're not willing to work. Because we get our hands dirty. We get our feet dirty. And it ain't a pretty thing because we work. Don't come around and hang around. I don't deal with people that like to hang around. You wasting my time and you wasting your time. I'm gonna tell you to leave. Hey, you ain't around here to work. You can go home. Go watch Netflix and chill or something. Don't come around us cause we work every day, all day, 24/7, 365. We work. So you got to move around and learn how to move along sometimes. And if you have somebody, let's say if you got a spouse or your homeboy or homegirl or somebody that see your vision, understand what you're doing, and they willing to sit at your table and help you sell merchandise, or they willing to, if you got to go 5-6 hours away, you're not a long drive, and they willing to split that time. They say, hey, look, you take 3 hours, I take 3 hours. Let's get there. Them the people you want on your team. These people that's just riding, they want some free food. They just want to go see, oh, I ain't never been to Chicago. I want to see Chicago. They can stay home. I might leave you in Chicago. I tell everybody, they work with me. When we get in the car, we go to work. We don't do nothing fun till it's over. The work get done first. Now, if you want to travel to Atlanta and see the stars and see people you see on TV and you're not sitting at the table working, we're going to leave you in Atlanta. And that Uber trip, it's going to be 8 hours. It's going to cost you a lot of money. We might leave you in Atlanta because we go to work. So you have to learn how to move along sometimes. And I'm going to say this too. You got to be serious. Well, I like to say, you got to be a dog about your business. You got to be serious about your business. And don't play with it, because it's not a joke. It's not a game. Stuff that I do, money I've spent over the years, it's not a game to me. It's not a joke. We do this podcast. This is not a game. This is not something we can get on social media. Oh, we just flexing a little bit. We flexing our muscle a little bit. This is not a flex for us. This is something we believe in. This is something we put money into. This microphone, this stand, this camera. The camera is expensive. Camera, all the wires y'all don't see, and the light y'all don't see. And we got like 7 monitors in here. We using 3 tonight. Like, all this stuff costs, so it's not a joke. It's not a game. So I'm saying, what prepared me to this day was what I'm telling y'all now. Network. Learn how to move along sometimes. Don't be worried about trying to get support. Support will come. People support what they see. Don't be on social media begging for support. People be like, oh, I got my business. Ain't nobody support me. Well, do better. Do more. Put more out there. Do more. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody care. Do more. And then when you do more and people see, oh, okay, I see what she's doing. I see what he's doing. I can get behind that. I can donate to that. Hey, I want to help hold the camera. Let me email Ron Daniel and see what can I do to hold the camera. Now, you're not moving along no more. Now you're getting staff. Now you have donations. You can pay people. You see what I'm saying? But in the beginning, you got to move along. Or you move with your spouse. Or if you got a boyfriend, girlfriend, or a good friend or family member that understand your vision, let them stay around. People that's doing a bunch of talking, let them go. Let them go. Learn the difference between business and personal. If there's a thin line, learn it. And don't step across those lines. Don't mix the two. It's business. I know business. I know personal, friends, family. I don't mix them. I don't mix them because you know why? You know what that thin line is? Money is involved. Money is involved. People act funny when they got to give you some money. Especially family members and especially your friends. Ask me how I know. I know. Here's another one. Success don't happen overnight. It don't happen overnight. Y'all looking at this podcast and you see the graphics on the screen. You see the microphone. You see we got this branding stuff and the thing behind me, the branding thing behind me, the logo. Success don't happen overnight. We didn't learn how to create these graphics by going to a 4-year college. I didn't go to a college. I learned graphic design. What you guys see, what y'all looking at right now, I learned it, like they say, from the mud. From nothing. I learned it from I went over my mama's house, sat on a computer nobody used at the time, and learned how to make business cards. And that struck an interest in my mind. I said, okay, this is what's going to get my business seen. So I need to learn this. And then from there, I met this guy. He had a print company. He said, man, you always... And this, I'm showing y'all how God moves. And if you're watching this tonight, get the game. I'm giving it to you for free. I ain't charging you tonight. You're getting it for free. So when I kept going to his print company every week, I'm like, hey, I need some more cards. I need some more business cards. Hey, I need some posters. I need some flyers. He said, man, you always coming in here. He said, man, I like your graphics too. He said, this is what he told me. He said, have you ever used this system right here to make your graphics? I told him, I said, I don't know what that is. He said, take this whole box with you, make a copy and bring it back. He said, I'm going to let you have it. He said, I spent $2,000 for that whole system. $2,000. He said, take it with you, make a copy and bring it back. I didn't even ask him for it. I went there to take some cards to him. He said, man, you a young dude. He's an older guy. He said, you a young dude. I respect what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Take this with you. Make copies, bring it back. And that's how I get into the serious realm and world of marketing and advertising. That's what I do now today from 9 to 5 when the sun is up. So that's how things happen. Success don't happen overnight. We want everything to happen like it's microwave popcorn. It don't happen like that. Success takes a long time, but how you get to the ultimate goal is you got to prepare yourself to achieve the small goals. Small goals lead to the big goal. If you want to be the number one whatever in your field, in your space, you got to get through the small goals. And in the small goals, you're going to see people stop and people quit. And they say, well, it's hard. I don't want to figure this out no more. Oh, every time I get some money, I'm putting it back in my business. I ain't making no money. You see what I'm saying? So as you continue, right, success becomes clear now. You can see the top. Listen, I'm talking about gospel rap when I say this next example. When I started working in it, I would ask people for help. They was like, I'll just grind and figure it out. I'm like, grind and figure it out? That ain't giving me no help. When I would ask people about, tax issues, when I started my business back in 2004, I'll just pray on it. That ain't giving me my answer. So now I know about taxes now. Now I don't ask too many questions about gospel rap because I'm soaked in it. And we went from hill to hill because of our efforts every year, every day, we add a brick to that wall. And let me tell you something. This going to sound goofy and this going to sound crazy. But the way I explain success is, think about the biggest house you ever seen, the biggest brick house you ever seen in your city, right? And you look at those bricks. Well, pay attention to the bricks. But the house, let me go back. The house has a foundation. It has plumbing, the framework out of wood. Then they put the sheetrock up. Then they lay the bricks. But let's focus on the bricks right now. Each brick was laid one by one. They didn't lay the bricks on the ground and put the plaster and the mud on the bricks and say, okay, now let's lift the whole wall up and stick it on the wall. It don't work like that. Because if they did that, they're going to see all the bricks are uneven. And the first storm come through, the house going to fall over because, the bricks ain't stable. So what they do, they put up one brick at a time, one brick at a time, one brick at a time. That's success. It's one small success at a time. So let's say, for example, for me, it was learning how to put a project together. That's a small success. It was learning how to work this machine at the time that I paid $600-700 for. How do it work? All these buttons, all these switches. Now I know how it works. I don't use it no more, but it propelled me to get the bigger machines, which I have in the other room, which is double the cost, double the size. I know how to work it now. That's a small success. Doing certain events. When I was, someone called me, this lady, God rest in peace, Donna Grady Career. I remember her forever. I remember they had an event in Florida. And this organization, they was like, we need to talk to some gospel rappers. She called us. She said, hey, can y'all get to Florida in 2 days? I'm like, yeah, we can get down there. Sit on a panel. We talking to a room full of DJs and A&R folks. And the lady who put Kirk Franklin on the map was sitting right next to me. That was my first time meeting this lady. We sitting on a panel. And she's sitting right here. No, she's sitting right here to my right. Miss Vicky Lotta Title Maid. And I sat in that room, and I'm like, that was another small success. So I'm like, I don't know these people, but they called me from the Rock Town to get down in Day City and talk about what I love to do. So we flew out there, got the hotel room, went down to the ballroom, we chopped it up, we exchanged information, and I still talk to a lot of those people to this day. To this day, to the fact where if I'm in their city or in an event, I remember we did some Stellar Wars stuff. And we was trying to get in one of those rooms. They was like, no, you can't go in. One of the guys that was at an event in Atlanta said, hey, no, that's Ron Daniel. You come on with me. He was down there in Tampa, Florida, talking on a panel. He come up with us. Networking. Small success lead to big success. So you got to know that success don't happen overnight. It don't happen overnight. Success is not given to the person who can speak the best. Success is not given to the person who can articulate well. It's not given to the prettiest person, the handsomest person, the smartest person. No, success is given to those who work for it. If you have a mindset to work to be the best in your field, you got to work. And along the way of working, you're going to run across some haters. Let's talk about the haters. I experienced some haters. I experienced a lot of haters. When you are successful, people will stop talking to you. People will leave you alone. Now listen, if you're just not tuning in, we're talking about the independent grind and how to build a winning mindset. All this I'm talking about now is winning and building a winning mindset. All of it. Everything we're talking about is talking about building a winning mindset. Let's talk about the haters. Haters are everywhere. I got this song I say in the office. I say, haters are everywhere. Haters, they in my hair. But let me tell you something. You got to know how to maneuver around the haters. Because they coming. People will leave you when they see you looking successful. People will start fooling with you. I've had people try to infiltrate our account, steal our information, and do their own thing similar to what we doing. You know what we did? Professionally, we sent the email out. We said, listen, if you deal with this person's not a part of what we're doing. Deal with them at your own discretion. Because they was trying to use our name to get things done. So, haters, they there. Haters, they're everywhere. And you gotta learn how to deal with the haters. Family members can become haters. Friends can become haters. Friends, family members, people that you know, people you went to school with, people you say, oh, I thought we was cool. The ones, especially the ones you thought we was cool. They allowed these things, the success from your efforts, to separate friendships. I seen it. I know about it. I see people in my city. I'm grown. I'm a grown man, so I see them. And I'm not the type, if I see you walking down the aisle, I'm going to cut to the next aisle. I see you, and I know why we don't talk no more. Now, they're going to cut down the aisle because they say, there you go. Because it bothers them that you trying to win in this life. So success creates the haters. But don't do things for the haters. Whoever listening to this. Don't do things for the haters. Don't be saying, well, I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to show the haters. The haters are my motivators. Man, haters don't motivate me to do nothing. You know what motivate me to do? To get up every day and to strive and win. It's not haters. I see haters over to my right, to my left, in my face. It's not the haters. It's not the haters. I can walk in a room full of haters and hold my head up, walk in there fresh, whatever I got on, and I'm good. It's not the haters. I don't do nothing for the haters. I'm trying to show something to some haters, to some folks who don't like me anyway. The challenge for me is to challenge myself to reach certain heights and plateaus in my space. Tonight I'm talking about the gospel rap space. I also work in the real estate space. I also work in the marketing and web design space. So my goal is to be number one. Like they say, period. That's my goal, is to win at all costs, without stepping on toes, without making enemies. But haters, people get jealous of what they see. So if they see you winning and they trying to gauge what they're doing versus what you doing, they get jealous, they get mad. But that's part of working in the independent grind, working independently. When you working on yourself, when you work in your business, when you work in your organization, or you have a church and it's growing, people get mad and people get jealous. And I've had people I talked to for years stop talking to me because of what they see. They walk in my office and they say, wait a minute, I remember when you started. Now you got all this stuff that look foreign to me now. Success look foreign to folks. It look foreign. Because they said, wait a minute, I never seen all this stuff. What's all this? It look good. It look expensive. What's all this stuff? And then they get mad, they get jealous, they don't call you no more. You don't get invited to the parties no more. You don't get invited to the gatherings, to the events no more. Because folks get jealous and they get mad. So we're talking about haters. Stay in your lane. That's another one. You got to learn how to stay in your lane. I know we've been talking now almost an hour. Tonight I'm going to talk until I'm just done. But you got to learn how to stay in your lane. Now, if you're just not tuning into this, we're talking about building the independent grind. What it takes to work independently and sign yourself a deal and pay yourself. You're going to deal with, we just talked about the haters, but now you got to stay in your lane. What I mean by staying in your lane, I'm going to give you an example, and then I'm going to break down what that means. The example I give everybody, somebody asked me, said, man, Ron Daniel, what does it mean to you to stay in your lane? What does it mean to you to stay in your lane? Where you from in your city? I said, to me, it's like driving down the freeway. In my city, parts of the freeway got 4 lanes, part of it got 3. If you go in the rural areas, it's 2 lanes. In some cities, you got 6 lanes. You know, California got, 6, 7, 8 lanes out there. Atlanta got about 5 or 6. Dallas got about 4, 5, sometimes 6 lanes out there. But let's focus on the lane. If you driving your car at a high speed, at a high rate of speed, all right, if you start looking to your right, to your left, you're going to eventually hit what's in front of you. Stay in your lane and focus on your lane. But it's not staying in the lane part, it's the focus part. You got to focus on what you're doing. You got to have focus every single day. If God bless you with the breath to get up, you got to focus every single day. You got to focus. What's focus? What does it mean to stay focused while you trying to stay in your lane? Remember, if you driving a car, I'm talking about you putting it, you got it to the flow. You doing 85 in Atlanta, they say I'm doing 85 on 85. In my city, I'm doing 85 on 630. Don't tell nobody. But you got your foot to the floor. You got to focus. If you don't see what's ahead of you, you're going to crash. You're going to hit something bad. You're going to flip off the road. I don't care what kind of car it is. It could be a Ferrari. It can be a Toyota. It can be a one of those old school B210s. You're going to flip if you're not focusing. So to stay in your lane is to focus on what you have. Focus on what you doing. Don't pay no attention to what they doing over here. Don't pay no attention to what they doing over there. Don't try to keep up with people. And keep up, like they say, keep up with the Joneses. Don't try to keep up with people. Focus on what you doing. Listen. Part of having that focus is you got to sacrifice your leisure time. You probably think like, what are you saying? If you like to watch TV all day, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, what else out there? YouTube TV. If you like to watch all those things, and look here, I pay for all 4 of them at the house. We got all 4 of them at the house. We don't watch. It's for the kids. We really don't watch it. It's really for them, and they barely watch it. But you got to sacrifice your TV time. It's stealing too much of your time. If you like to hang out over your friend's house and just scroll on social media and talk about everybody, you got to cut that out. If you like to go to the mall and window shop, you got to cut that out. If you just sitting around doing nothing, the weekend is here, but you want to lay in the bed all day and look at TV, or you want to just lay in the bed and sit on your phone, or just lay in the bed and stay on the phone talking about folk. You got to cut that out. Or you want to go over your mama's house. You like going over your mama's house every Saturday morning from 11 to 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You got to cut that down. Say, hey, mama, I'll come over there for a couple of hours. I got to go do something. I have things to do. You got to sacrifice your leisure time. If you like going to the club every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'm not a club goer. I don't know the club. I know the club hours. I don't know what time they open the close. That ain't my business. But if you like to go to the club every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you got to cut that out. If you like to go to church every time the door open. Now somebody said, wait a minute, Ron Dane, don't you talk about my church going. But if you like to go to church every single time the door open, you got to minimize that. And listen, God do understand. You got to minimize that. You say, okay, I'm not going to go to church 7 days out the week. I just go on Sunday and Wednesday. That's it. I'm not coming to the Monday night stuff, the Tuesday night super service, the Thursday night, whatever, the Friday night prayer time, whatever. You can pray at the house. You can pray at the house. Somebody said, well, don't forsake the assembly. That's not what that means. But you got to cut out your leisure time so you can focus on what you're building. And we're talking about the independent grind and how to build a winning mindset. What I'm talking about now is staying in your lane. How do you stay in your lane? You got to focus. People going to say things about you. People talk about me. I'm grown. I don't care. You can talk all day. I like to build and I like to see the results. And part of those results is the dollars. And I like making deposits. So y'all can say what you want to say. I don't care about that stuff. That stuff don't bother me. People going to talk. People got opinions. We all born with an opinion. People going to say stuff. But until you walk in my shoes and you got to pay the bills I pay, raise the family, you're married, you got to make sure your marriage good, your kids good, your business good, your ministry good. I don't hear it. I see it. I hear it, but I don't care. You got to have an I don't care attitude when you operate a business, when you in that independent grind. And again, we're talking about the independent grind and how to build a winning mindset. This is part of building a winning mindset. Here's another one. You got to learn business. You got to learn what business is. Business is not just a handshake or a verbal whatever. That's not business. That's part of it, but but that's not business. You got to learn how to operate proper business, meaning paperwork gonna be involved. The white paper and the green paper. White paper and green paper. The white paper with the black dots on it and the green paper with the white dots on it. Both of them gonna be involved, and you gotta learn how it work. And if people don't understand you operate as a business, don't do business with them. Simple. I'm in business every day. When people call my office and say, hey, Ron, I need a website, I give them an estimate. It's non-negotiable. Oh, wait a minute. I looked at the estimate and the people down the street, they can do it for less. Then go there. Come back. If they mess it up, you can come back. It's gonna be the same price. It's non-negotiable. Operate business. When you in the gospel rap space, understand how business work. Contracts, riders, and that's another technical thing that's on the contract when you're dealing with riders. I don't really care for riders, but some people do. And I'll give you an example of a rider. A rider is the perks. Like somebody might say, hey, I come to your city. But if you read the rider says, I want a bowl of green M&Ms, all green M&Ms. I want a bottle of Perrier water, Joker, and I want a bag of Doritos. I want the big bag. And I want a room full of candles. I don't care about that stuff. When I go to a city and they call me to come, I say, look, just give me a separate room. I can just chill out, get my head together, meditate a little bit, give me a cordless mic, and give me some cold water. Cut that speaker up, let's go. And make sure we paid too. You know, we need that. We need the deposit. We need the balance. So all that play a part. I'm not picky. But some people do that stuff. But we're talking about staying in your lane while you building your winning mindset on your independent grind. Stay in your lane. You gotta focus. You got to cut people out. That's not good for you. Cut them out. And let me talk to spouses while I'm thinking about this. Because one thing I've seen, a constant thing I've seen over the years is you have a spouse that's moving in business and another spouse that just don't get it. They really don't care. They really don't support. You know, while you got one spouse out getting it, you got the other one sitting at home. You know, I thank God because I'm married to a go-getter for real. She got the go and she got the getter, and it's in her. And we both like that. So we work. We move a certain way. In business. Our whole household is a business. But for those who don't have that, if you the one with the business mindset, you gonna have to bear the burden of doing it on your own for a long time until they can see. Until they can see what you're doing. Because some people just can't see it. If you like to build and construct houses, go build and construct those houses. Then after a while, your spouse might come on board and say, you know what? You've been building them houses for about 3 years. It's making some money. You need some help. Hey, I come over there, I answer the phones. Or I come out there and I hold whatever tool. Or while you out there doing what you doing, I go make the sales runs. They eventually will come on board. And for those who got kids, this is how I view children in a marriage. And when you're in business, children are built-in employees. Use your children, and you get tax write-offs and all that stuff for your kids. And I don't want to get into taxes, but you do. If you use them as employees. So your children are built-in employees. We'll talk about that another day. But stay in your lane. And if you're just not tuning in, this is The Refill. This is a gospel rap podcast highlighting the artists, the DJs, the promoters, and the influencers of the culture. Here's another thing. Money We all need that money. We need those big faces. We need those big faces with the blue stripes across them. We need them dollars. I think it's an old school song said, I need dollars, dollars. What is it? I need dollars. Dollars is what I need. I can't sing. But I know that when I hear that song on that commercial, I know exactly what he's talking about. I'm like, yeah, y'all need them dollars. Get your money. Now, when you operate in independent, on your independent grind, if you don't understand contracts, understand how to make honorariums work. That's an agreement. You put a dollar amount out there. They pay you a deposit to come, and they should pay you before you go on stage. Now that's what I do. That's my advice to y'all. They pay the deposit before you get up there. When you show up, before you get up there on stage, you need the balance before you walk on stage. No balance, no performance. And figure out your worth. Figure out your worth. Now, you making money from your merchandise, from your music sales. Take that money and put it back into your business. Don't use that money to go buy rims for your car, a brand new engine. I'm finna go from a V6 to a V8, baby. I'm about to blow the street off. Put these new pipes on the back. I got them flow masters on the back. Boy, just waking the whole neighborhood up. Now, don't use that money for that. Take that money and put it back into the business. And then you take that money and you put it back into the business. And then you take that money and you put it back in the business. You see what I'm doing? Take that money and put it back in the business. You made $20,000, put it back in the business. That's not kicking in money. That's not flex money. That's not, let me take $10,000 and go to Cabo. That's not that kind of money. Take that money, put it back in the business. If you need a certain microphone, go buy the microphone. If you need a certain mixer, go buy the mixer. If you need to buy some more T-shirts, go buy the T-shirts. If you need to just have money set up for you to have gas to get to the next show, you got the gas money. See what I'm saying? If you need to buy a laptop for your studio, buy the laptop. You can buy a good one for $500. You can buy a better laptop for $12. And you can buy that big dog laptop for $2,800. If you're going to spend $28, I'll do it. If you're going to spend $2,800, spend the $28. Just look at it as an investment. Put the money back into your business. Don't take it and don't use that money and spend it up. See, I'm not telling y'all nothing. I made that mistake. Oh, here goes some money. Let me put it over here, and here, and it's gone. Then you say, don't do that no more. That don't work. Let me take this money and just put it up. So you can pull from it when your business needs certain things. We wanted to build this podcast a certain way. It needed money. I didn't want to just stand against a white wall in a room somewhere. That's just me. I'm talking for me, not y'all, for me. I didn't want to stand against a white wall with my smartphone talking about a podcast. Now, if some of y'all do that, that's cool. That's good. It wasn't good for me. I said, let me figure out what I need to make it look like a real show. That requires some money. That requires some investment. That requires learning everything in this room. Every wire, every mixer, every speaker, every monitor. Take the money, put it back. Let me say this, and this is what a lot of people don't want to do. You got to learn how to live like you're broke. People don't want to do that. In social media time, we want to go buy clothes and wear it one time for the gram. And then go back and buy something else and wear it one more time for the gram. Oh, they fresh every day. No. They just stunned and fun. And they after a while, it's going to catch up with them. And hey, ain't no future in your fun. And you're going to be broke. Broke for real. You got to learn how to live like you're broke. Don't be trying to buy all the latest whatever until you get your money up. Get your money up. You can do what you want to do. I saw some big Shaquille O'Neal said that made a lot of sense. I saw it a long time ago, but I saw it again early this week. I saw it years ago when he was talking about it. They was asking him, they said, well, Shaq, how is it you kept your money. How is it that you kept all your money? Over the years, you see a lot of basketball players, they broke and they lost 100. I'm like, Joker, how you lose? Man, hold up. How you lose $110 million? 110. That's another story, though. But I saw the story about the basketball player. I don't want to say his name. He lost $110 million for he had people looking over his money. I'm like, no, Joker, I'm signing all my checks. I'm looking at all the deposit slips. You ain't signing nothing for me. That's me. Don't mess with my money. Don't mess with my household money. But Shaq said this. It made sense. He said, you got to learn how to live off 25% of your money and take the 75% of that money and just put it up. And use a little bit of that to put it in other areas that's making money. So he said you got 25. So it's like this. You got $100. Okay. You're gonna break that down 4 times. That's 25, 25, 25, 25. You're gonna live off the $25. You got $75 left. Then he said he put that 25 up. That's what he live off for. Then he said he take another 25 to invest in things that's gonna make more money. That's why we see him on all these commercials every day. And then he still got $50 just sitting there. So he using $25 for every $100 he make to live off of. So if he make $100,000, he only living off $25,000. Then he gonna take the other $25,000, put it towards some investments. Then he got $50 just sitting in the cut, just sitting in the stash, just sitting in the bank, just sitting there. So when you on your independent grind and you building your winning mindset, you gotta take the money you making and you gotta know how to make it work. You get $10,000, that's not flex money. That's not let me stunt for social media, because a lot of people on social media don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about your livelihood. They really don't care. A lot of people say, well, I'm going to jump off social media. I'm finna take a break. I'm like, well, bad. We don't care. Gone. We don't care. Don't nobody care. Don't take social media too serious. When I treat social media, this is how I view social media. And I'm going to talk about social media in a minute. We're going to get off this thing a little bit. But social media for me, I use it for business. I do a lot of work for people on social media. They know who they are if they're watching the show. I do a lot of work, marketing, advertising work for people on social media. With this podcast, I'm able to meet a lot of people on social media. So I use social media for business purposes. 90% of my time on social media is business purposes. 90%. The other 10% is just scrolling. I'm maybe looking for business opportunities. I'm not hanging out on people's pages, looking at what they're doing all day. People talking about, what's that one thing, the stories. Like, the story, stories is part of social media. Don't make that stuff serious. Social media's not that serious. Use it for business purposes. I'm going to sneak ahead. I might like a shoe or two. And that's really it. I go on the pages. I go to, listen, I have my businesses attached. Listen, real talk. I have my businesses attached to close to 800 Facebook groups and or pages. Why? Because it gets us business opportunities when you post in those groups. I work in the real estate space. I work in the food space. I work in the marketing and advertising space. I work in the music space. So I have close to 800 groups and or pages that I'm a part of because I post in those groups so I can get business opportunities. That's how you make more money. And I'm talking for real. I might get a call. Recently, I got a call from somebody in Austin, Texas. They said, hey, I saw you posting in a group. I need a logo. I need some business cards. I need a website. It's okay, we got you. Here go the estimate. Let me know when you're ready. Somebody else called. Hey, I'm in somewhere in California somewhere. I saw you posting this group. I need the estimate for a website. I need some whatever, and I need whatever. I said, okay. Because it worked. It worked. So when you make the money, put a lot of it up. Put a lot of it up. Put a lot of it up. As much of it as possible. Put it up. Learn to live like you broke. And you can still be fresh, Joker. I'm fresh. I know what it is. I still keep up with everything. But I'm just saying, I'm not going broke to look social media rich. Stop that. Here's another thing. You got to continue to create content. If you're a rapper, rap. If you're a singer, sing. If whatever you do, if you are an artist, draw. Like, you got to use your gift and continue to make content every single day. Now, put your content on social media so you can get paid for it, so people can know what you're doing, so you can get opportunities, speaking opportunities where you can speak and get paid, or opportunities where you can sit on a panel and get paid, or opportunities where somebody said, hey, I didn't know you made websites. I need somebody to make a website for me, and they get an estimate. They say, okay, I can pay this or I can't pay this. Our prices are non-negotiable. So you got to learn how to continue to create content. But some people make content every day with no traction. Let me explain. They just like to put songs out there. And then the next day it's another song. And then the next 2 days later, there's another song. Next week, it's another new song. The next week later, it's another new song. You're just putting songs out there. You're not building an album. You're not building a download list. You're just putting songs out there. Be strategic with your content and where you want it to go. Focus. Part of marketing is like, think of a bullseye and a dot, or a bow and arrow. You got to point that dot to hit that bullseye. You got to use your content that way. Find your target audience and feed them what they want. When Walmart open up their doors every single day, their primary product is the products. Come in the store. You want food? Go on that side of the store. You need clothes? Go on that side of the store. You need tires? Go in the back of the store. You need whatever you want to drink on. Now they sell liquor. Go to the back of the store. They got the milk, they got the juice, they got the drinks, they got the water, they got the liquor, whatever. Brown and clear. I saw it. I said, man, Walmart liquor store now. So you gotta focus where you want your content to go. That's building, create content. Listen, I got a couple more things I'm gonna get off here. I got a couple more. When you own your independent grind and you trying to build your winning mindset, you got to decide, you have to decide if you want to win or not. That's a key factor. Because a lot of people, they out here just throwing stuff against the wall and hoping it stick. That's not how business works. That's not how working on your independent grind. That's not how it works. It don't work that way. You have to decide if you want to win, if you want to be viewed as a winner. Every single time we cut this podcast on, I want us to be viewed as the winners. Oh, they winning. And that's not boasting and bragging. That's just saying you want to be seen as the winners. When people play sports, they play for a trophy. They play for a ring. You see what I'm saying? They want to be known as the winners. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And whoever watching this, you got to decide if you want to win and how big you want to win. And knowing winning ain't going to happen overnight. It take time to win. It take time. Listen. Hold up. If you're a lawyer, there's 1,000 lawyers in your city. If you're a doctor, there's 1,000 doctors in your city. If you're a rap artist, there's 1,000 rap artists in your city. If you're a preacher, there's 1,000 preachers in your city. What are you going to do to set yourself apart from the pack? If you look at a marathon, Google up what a marathon, don't Google up, go to YouTube and type in marathon race. You can type in Boston Marathon or New York Marathon, whatever marathon. Type in New York Marathon and start at the beginning. Don't watch the whole marathon. Don't watch it. Just look at the very beginning. Right? You're going to see a big crowd of people. It's going to be like 30,000, 40,000 people with the mindset to win. They say, I'm going to win this race. 30,000 people at the start line say, I'm going to win. I'm winning the New York City Marathon this year, baby. And y'all ain't getting in the way. They all thinking the same thing. Now, just fast. You don't got to watch the race. Just fast forward to the last 2 minutes of the video. And you're going to see one or two people in the front running. They on a certain pace. Those are the ones who train. Those are the ones who put in the extra reps. Those are the ones who sacrifice their leisure time. They say, you know what? Today I'm finna run 50 miles, Joker. Y'all running these marathons, trying to be cute, gonna run, walk, so you can get that what's that thing, that medal? They say, hey, you participate, you get a participation medal. They ain't running for the participation medal. They running so they can hold their trophy. They running so they can be known around the world. I am the winner of the New York City Marathon. What I'm telling you is, be the winner. Every time we cut this podcast on, we looking to win. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what you got to say. Every time we cut this podcast on, we looking to win in our space. Why? Because if we win, the job will win, the coach will win. See what I'm saying? So it's not about us. 50% of it is about us. The other 50% of it is about the coach. When you mix it together, you make 100%. So yes, we trying to win. You have to decide if you want to win or not. Winning don't come to those who can speak the best, who dress the best, who look the best, who the tallest, who the smallest, who the widest, who the skinniest. That's not winning. Winning comes to those who put in that work. Everything I said tonight, all these tips, y'all got free game tonight. Talking about building a winning mindset, how to handle your money. Success don't happen overnight. How to move along, how to network, how to stay in your own lane, how to learn how to operate and do good business, how to create content, how to deal with the haters. All this is building a winning mindset. I've been doing gospel rap for 17 years. So I view it different now versus when I first started. Now, I don't care what you say about it. I know what I'm in it for. I've been in the marketing space for 16 years. I know what I'm in it for. I've been in the food space for a few years. I know why I'm in it for. The real estate space for a few years. I know why I'm in it for. So you have to know why you doing what you're doing, and then you got to have the mindset to win. And what's wrong is a lot of people, they get deterred quick. They get discouraged fast because they don't see results. Guess what? Again, look at the marathon. Go to YouTube. Type in New York Marathon. Start at the beginning. Look at all those people at the beginning. A marathon is 26.2 miles. Right? So you got the winner gonna run 26 miles. I ain't running 26 miles. Joke, I drive 26 and I turn around and drive back 26. I might ride a bike 26 miles if I was into biking like that. I got a bike in the garage. I got to get back to riding. But 26 miles, the winner, the one who trained, the one who set up for the win, they put in the extra work, they put in the extra time. They put in the extra reps. When it was raining, when it was cold, when there was snow on the ground, they ran, they practiced, they trained. They created a mindset to run 26 miles at a certain pace faster than 30,000, 40,000 other people. Think about it. They created a mindset to run at a certain pace to beat out 40,000 other competitors. That when you think about that, that's that winning mindset. That's why I said in the beginning, you have to decide if you want to win. If you're a makeup artist, be the best makeup artist. Win. If you're a lawyer, be the best lawyer. If you're a preacher, be the best preacher. If you're the rapper, be the best rapper. Whatever it is in your space, in your field, decide if you want to win. And once you decide you want to be the winner, then you're going to do whatever it takes to win. You're going to cut out the TV time. You're going to cut out friends that's just kind of hanging around and talking about your efforts. There ain't nothing going to happen with that. Cut them jokers loose. If you grown, you'll cut them loose. A lot of people want to be grown till it's time to act grown. I cut a joker loose. That's just me. I don't fool with you no more. Somebody in my city coined this statement, and if he looking at this, he know who he is. He said, "Fool with me if you're cool with me." I love that statement. That's the best, one of the best statements I ever heard ever. Fool with me if you're cool with me. I don't fool with a lot of people. They don't want to talk to me. That's fine. I'm good. They mad because we decided to do something that look like it's winning. Hey, you do something. And then let's sit down, let's talk like champions, and let's talk about what we did together. So you got to decide if you want to win. Now here's the last thing. We talked about winning. Now let's talk about social media. How do you put all this together in a social media world now? Everything is on social media now. Every day there's a new platform. The newest one is Clubhouse. And everybody and their mama running the Clubhouse, and they don't know why they running the Clubhouse. Somebody asked me, they said, "Man, you gonna go to Clubhouse?" I said, "No." Why? I don't want to sit in the room and talk all day. I don't. I'd rather get paid sitting on this just me. This just me. I'd rather get paid sit on a panel and talk. I'm not finna sit and talk on Clubhouse all day. Don't invite me. I'm not going to accept the invite. I don't care about Clubhouse. Somebody said, "But man, it's good networking. It's good information. It's good." Well, guess what? There's Google. And if your butt really want it, you get on Google. You can find whatever you want. Google's out there. I don't need to sit in a room all day and listen to a whole bunch of people talking about stuff. And especially a lot of people that ain't doing nothing. Trying to tell me what I'm doing every day for the last 17 years, then put so much money into, and time and effort and sweat and faith and ups and downs into all this business stuff. I'm not finna listen to a whole lot of people. I'm not. Me personally, I only listen to folks who, I'm not inspired by too many people, but I see it. I do have people I talk to in my city that's winning big. I know a guy personally, and this guy, I know he done seen where he made so many millions, and I believe him. He been in business for a long time, and I didn't ask him about, hey, what kind of money you make. He just kind of threw it out there. He said, "Man, I've been talking to you a long time, Ron, and I'm gonna tell you this how I get down." He told me, I said, "Yeah." I knew it was something about this dude, but I'm connected with him. He's an older guy. He's about 70-something. And he winning. So I tend to talk to those people. People that's actually doing something. I'm not sitting in no room, wasting time. But again, social media. How do you take everything you built and move it through social media? Where you have to decide if you want to be on social media for the foolishness, or you want to be on social media for the business. That's it. What are you promoting? Foolishness or business? I know people every day, they push a brand new meme out every day. Some of them be funny. But I know people also that push out business every day. And if you're about business, you get opportunities. This podcast we created has it's given us a vehicle to move around in the gospel rap space. Now we're looking to build a podcast talking about business things, another podcast talking about educational things, and another podcast talking about the hair industry. I'm a licensed barber. I don't cut no more, and I don't have my barber shop no more. I had it for 8 years. But those are the things. I build my business around my interests, if that makes sense. My interest is real estate. My interest is wealth building. My interest is gospel rap. My interest is the food manufacturing space. My interest is marketing and advertising and ministry. So those are my interests. So I'm building my businesses around those interests. I'm not going to talk about how to be a firefighter. That ain't my thing. I'm not going to talk about how to be a lawyer. Now, I talk to a lawyer. I interview a lawyer and say, hey, how you operate your business? Or I talk to a firefighter and say, hey, man, thank you for doing stuff in the community. How you do it? But I'm not going to go train to be a firefighter. That ain't my thing. I'm not walking in the house with fire. That ain't my thing. I'm not finna go sit in the courtroom and sitting there all day defending clients. That's not my thing. But we appreciate y'all who do it. But it's not my thing. So I build my business around my interests, and I put my interests on social media because social media give me opportunities, faster opportunities, versus before social media when it wasn't no social media. You see what I'm saying? So with social media, if you have a business, put the best content on social media. When we do this podcast, I know y'all see it and I hope y'all like it, but we put our best into how this podcast look and sound. So people can say, hey, that's a professional looking podcast. And it would give us more opportunities in the future. Maybe with some TV networks, maybe with bigger podcasts or whatever, however God lead. But when they see our content and when they see how it look, they're going to say, yeah, they really invest in that podcast. And if they come into the studio and see all this stuff we got here, they're going to be super impressed. They're going to say, y'all really investing in the podcast space. So when you own social media, you have to decide what you want to do every day. Listen. The reason why a lot of y'all that's in business or say you in business, I say that with quotes, quote, unquote, and you not getting the response or the certain customers you looking for, because when they go on your personal page, they see a bunch of mess and a bunch of foolishness and a bunch of nonsense. And you got to cut that, you got to take that stuff off your page. You got to put business. You can't put on that, hey, we in the club and we doing whatever. Hey, we out here and we getting it in, we doing whatever. Hey, I'm doing all this foolishness. They're going to say, man, I don't want to do business with this person. Even if you have a business page, guess what? Your business page is attached to your personal page. So they can still look on your business page and your personal page, and they should be parallel, showing the same things. So if they go to your business page, they should see the same thing on your personal page. And the reason why a lot of business owners are missing opportunities on social media is because your business page is trash. And I'm just keeping it a book. It's trash. It's garbage. And they trying you trying to promote a product, but you also promote foolishness. And you trying to say, well, why I'm not getting customers? Or why come this person in the same space I work in, they get more customers, they making more, they getting more notoriety, they get more opportunities because that person you competing against decided I'm gonna use my social media space for business only. And I'm not gonna put nonsense on my page. So you have to decide what you're gonna do with your social media, what you're gonna do with Instagram, what you gonna do with Facebook, what you gonna do with Twitter, what you gonna do with TikTok, what you gonna do with Clubhouse. Now everybody and their mama on Clubhouse now. So what you gonna do with Clubhouse? You have to decide, and then when you decide, you gotta stick with that. The moment you decide, you gotta stick with that. And think about this. Everybody like those Mercedes. Those Mercedes clean, that G550, that G550 4x4 truck. Whew, that thing ready. That G550 4x4. But listen, do you see Mercedes put nonsense on their page? No. Do you see Mercedes making crazy memes on their page? No. Do you see Mercedes making commercials while we at home looking at TV and we see that Mercedes commercial come across the screen? Do you see them making nonsense or some kind of crazy, funny, goofy commercial to sell their cars? No, because they're in the business of selling cars. You got to be in the business of selling your product. And you got to be the sole thumb. You can't be worrying about, okay, I want everybody to be cool with me, so I'm going to do this crazy stuff on my social media page. No. Put the business on there, and you'll see the results. So, I say it a lot. And let me say this, too, to the gospel rappers. Here's the last thing. I shouldn't have to explain this, but you got to read and you got to stay in your word. You got to read the Bible as much as possible. Read it, study it, take time out of your day and read. If it's a chapter, if it's a couple of scriptures, a chapter or two, read your Bible. Because if you're a gospel rapper, you got to apply the word to your lyrics. You know, it's just like the boys in the street. If they talking about everything in the trap, guess what? They talking about everything in the trap. They talking about dope, how much they can get it with all those fake dope prices. They talking about how much pimping they doing. A lot of them ain't never pimped nothing. They talking about how much weed they smoking, how many pills they popping. A lot of them ain't even taking drugs. A lot of them are vegans. They ain't even taking drugs. They don't smoke or drink, but they got it in their music. So they talking about everything in the trap. If you a gospel rapper, you got to talk about the gospel. And you have to relay the message to people. I tell people all the time, I'm a cool dude. I'm a gospel rap artist forever. And I can gospel rap, and then I can whoop you on dominoes. You see what I'm saying? You got to let people know you still a real person too. You know, like Paul told people in the Bible, they say, well, Paul, he must be like a god or something, like Venus and Mars. He said, no, I'm not. He said, I'm a man with like passions like y'all. Basically, he's saying, look, I like soccer. I like to eat a hot dog. I like to eat pizza. I don't know if they was eating pizza back then. I'm just, making an example. But what I'm saying is stay in your word, and don't be self-righteous. Don't be self-righteous. Don't be trying to play God. You let God be God. You be you. And you let God be God. Don't judge people. I tell people all the time, I talk to a lot of people that ain't thinking about God. I do business with a lot of people that ain't thinking about Jesus. And we cool. And we all right because they thinking about getting some money. And I'm thinking about getting some money too. So everybody I come in contact with, they not thinking about Jesus. And I'm okay with that. Because I understand this is a personal thing. It's a personal relationship with God. And I have to stand before God myself. My wife can't do it for me. My kids can't do it for me. Nobody. I have to. We was born in this world by ourselves. We're going to leave out this world by ourselves. So what I tell people is you let God be God. You be you. Make the music. Don't be trying to put people in a heaven or a hell. That's not for us to decide. Make the dope music. Put it out there. And if you want to be on the podcast, hit me up. And we'll give you a slot on the podcast. It's that simple. We just find a date and a time and, make sure you got some good internet connection and it's on. So other than that, man, I've been doing a lot of talking, but again, the independent grind, I know I say it a lot in the space of it's been 2 hours, But the independent grind and building a winning mindset, that's key. That's what kept me for 17 years. Listen, I'm working in my city, in my state, and I'm in my lane. I seen cats come, I seen cats go. And I'm telling you, when you building and when you moving around, you gonna see a lot. But you gotta stay focused. You gotta stay focused. And you gotta have a mindset to see what you're doing. You gotta see it through. My wife said all the time, she said people lose when they don't do the follow up. I said, you are absolutely right. People don't like to follow up. And so what she said about follow up is, not follow up, the follow through. People lose when they don't do the follow through. Meaning, you can start off hot, but you got to stay hot. It's just like a campfire. It's just like not a campfire. It's just like a fireplace. I got a fireplace in my house, and the kids they like, oh, put the fireplace on, Daddy. I know it's cold now, so I'm gonna go when this podcast is over, I'm gonna go cut the fireplace on. So when I put the wood in there and I cut the fire on, I took real wood. I don't use the gas thing. I use the real wood. I can use the gas thing. I can just plug it up and cut the gas on. I'm just like, now, open the chimney, put the wood in there, and let that wood go. Let that wood go through the chimney. So, but let me get back to this. You can start off hot, but you got to stay hot. How do you stay hot? How does the fireplace stay hot? When you add more wood to the fire. I know this example sounds goofy, but that's okay. I'm using it for it's just an example for this podcast, what we're talking about right now. So when the fireplace starts to die down, the way you get the fire back up, you got to keep throwing wood in it. So every day, you got to do something. Every single day. Business don't take breaks. When you're on the independent grind, there are no breaks. There are no, I'm going to take me a week off so I can clear my mind. I ain't never had a week off to clear my mind in 17 years. I'm just going to take me a week off and I'm just going to sit here. Now my phone ring every day. My emails buzz every day. My phone text messages come in every day. So if I decide to take me a week off, I'm missing business. That's for one of my businesses. But when you on the independent grind, you got to keep throwing those logs in the fire to stay hot. Meaning you got to keep putting that effort, a new effort every day. Do something. If it's whatever it is, if it's looking for a show, if it's building your website, if it's going to mixing a song or making a phone call, connecting with somebody, do something every single day. Don't sit down and watch TV and look at TV all day. You're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. TV is like the enemy. It's the enemy of business owners. I'm saying that jokingly. I'm not in the spirit or nothing. I'm just saying it as a joke. But don't sit and watch TV all day. If you look at 5 episodes or whatever show, that's 5 hours. You know what you can get done in 5 hours if you work on your business? You can get a lot done. So I said a lot. If you're just not tuning in, we're talking about, this is the podcast, the Refill Podcast. I'm your host, Ron Daniel, and we're talking about the independent grind and how to build a winning mindset. And not just for gospel rap, but for any business. Any business. I be amazed sometimes because people will call me to come in and speak to everybody in the room. And the first thing I say, listen, I'm not your typical business owner. And I have an unorthodox way of explaining how to win in business and how to get to the end goal. But if you listen and take notes, you'll get it. I know I'm from the South. I know I tell people my language chopped and screwed, but that's okay. I know how to make it make sense. And so people actually pay me to come sit in their room and explain what I do in business to them. That's amazing. That's amazing. I don't have a college degree. I barely got out of high school. But the Lord gave me the grit and the grind and the hustle. And he helped me recognize what my gifts was a long time ago. So I just worked on my gifts. Now my gifts pay me. So I tell anybody, if I can do it, if you looking at this, if this joker right here can do it, all you gotta do is say, if that joker can do it, I know I can do it. So I want you to win. Stay on your independent grind and win. Win big. Win big. This podcast we doing, we looking to win big in it. I'm not looking at all the other podcasts in the gospel rap space like, I'm competing against y'all. We competing against ourselves. And we're going to win. Because I believe everything I touch wins and everything I touch turn gold. I really believe that. I've been believing that for a long time. So on that note, man, we're going to get off this thing. Listen, if you like the podcast, we hope you can donate to it because, yes, we need money, just like everybody else need money. We need money to grow. We need money to hire staff for this podcast, not for my businesses, this podcast. So we need money to grow, money to expand, money to reach new areas. That's what your donations do. It can be a little donation. It can be a big donation. Whatever you want to donate, whatever come across on your heart, donate. Look at the bottom of the screen. You'll see a lot of things moving across. You'll see information in the comment section about where to donate on Cash App and Venmo, and PayPal. And so soon we'll have the website up. You'll be able to go to the website and donate. Also, we use Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Square, Zeal. All that will be on the website. So, but you can donate. Just look at the bottom of this screen or look in the comments, and you see the information. And next week we'll be back next Thursday, 6 p.m. Central Time. Thursday and Friday, 6 p.m. each night. We have a new artist coming on next week. And again, if you want to be a guest on the show, all you got to do is email us the information we asking for. Just look in the comments if you want to be on the show. Or wait till the end of this show. We got a graphic that'll come across the screen. If you want to be on the show, it's real easy. We don't make it hard. This is a podcast for the culture. If you want to be on it, come get on it. It's an hour-long show, so I know I was talking for 2 hours tonight, but I had to get this off my chest. And so I hope y'all win. I hope y'all have a good week. We're going to see y'all next week. This is The Refill. I'm your host, Ron Daniel. We're going to see y'all next time. Boom, boom.